Hello, my name is Josh Blaze, and today I'll be talking to you about the internal environment analysis of my company, which is Science Building Solutions. As for my organization and its industrial review, Science does a wonderful array of items, but the number one thing they do is fire protection and life safety. With that, we do fire alarm inspections and repair, sprinkler inspections and repair, security and burglar monitoring, anything with monitoring for fire alarms and signals. They also serve as a commercial, healthcare, education, industrial, government, and home basis on-call service. This is a highly regulated industry, along with the highest levels of safety standards. And now for my VRIN analysis. Valuable technical expertise and compliance knowledge is a part of this process. On the right side, you'll see it says rare local relationships backed by national resources, inimitable experienced workforce and customer trust, and lastly, non-substitutable requirements such as inspections and monitoring services. Now let's go ahead and get into Science's competitive advantages. Number one, they have many contracts, but of course a part of that is their recur revenue contracts. This is where they have services that are part of their normal business contract with a customer, say for example, inspections, that they have pay out quarterly, semi-annual, or annually. Lastly, they have their technical expertise across multiple disciplines such as fire alarm, sprinkler, kitchen suppression, BDA, burglary, fire monitoring, extinguishers, along with the life safety aspects. National reach with local service support is to close that last gap. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about the value chain analysis. Number one, their service operations. They do install work, they do maintaining work, and they also do project work along with their human resources management. They allow a centralized level of operation and a decentralized level of operation that ties into their human resource management. And lastly, their technology and monitoring infrastructure. For example, Science has the ability to do proprietary work depending on the license and the needed system, and also their monitoring infrastructure to monitor all of their sites for all of the various signals that come in during the life safety process. Now for the SWOT analysis, and today we're going to be covering the strengths. Technical expertise. Me being a service manager for one of the branches, I can tell you right now that we hire the best technicians. We also pay some of the best in the field. We require that because the skill required for this field is not only limited, but you must know what you're doing and it must be precise. We do have an awful lot of regulation, and therefore the NFPA 72 code requires us to stay compliant. Lastly, the reoccurring revenue contracts. That's a big part of our business, and it's the only thing that you can say is forecastable. You never know when something's going to break, so we won't be able to predict that. Lastly, nationwide geographic presence. As of right now, Science is in 41 states in the United States. We are also in England and Australia. Now to pivot over to the SWOT weaknesses. Labor shortages. I kind of touched on this in my last slide, but because this is such a niche market and a niche industry, there's not a lot of talent that can be quickly recruited and or trained. Since this is a pretty specific skill, it takes years to train. And even if somebody has 3 to 5 years in the industry, they're still pretty green. Next, the integration challenges from acquisitions. Since this is such a small field, a big company usually buys out a lot of the smaller companies. They absorb them, and then that becomes, quite the headache. It's expensive. Trying to get them to go to your model and how you do things can be quite challenging. Lastly, the supply chain dependence. As you guys heard about the tariffs that I'm sure everyone has suffered from, most of these parts are from China. And therefore, when the supply demand reaches a critical peak or we're just unable to get what we need, we're dead in the water. As a quick summary for my conclusion, one thing that we definitely wanted to highlight on was the strong VRIN resources. The fact that we have a sustainable competitive advantage because of our proprietary licenses and what allows us to work in certain fields and work on particular systems that most other companies wouldn't. Our critical value chain activities. We have a very good logistical chain, and we definitely capitalize on that, not only every day, but as we navigate these turbulent waters such as global economics. And lastly, continued investment in people and technology. We very much highlight continuous improvement, pay for training, and give incentives for when major licenses or certificates are achieved. Definitely something that is a bonus for those trying to get themselves a raise. With that being said, thank you for your time. Hopefully you enjoyed my video.